listening.
I heard every spiteful word. You might hate God right now, but the feeling is not mutual.
No, I don't hate him. I've just seen his true face is all. And for the record, I had friends. I had a life. I care about people, and I'm choosing to let them believe that I'm gone because I am. I'm not Joe. And I know my truth now.
What truth?
Well, that in front of this God, I'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock.
Netflix's Daredevil, in my opinion, is one of the best Marvel TV shows to ever come out. Past, present, and future, no show has ever gotten me as excited as these 3 seasons of television. As of the recording of this video, you've probably been watching Daredevil Born Again. Despite this, they got most of the original cast back. In addition, most of the showrunners and writers are not from the original Netflix team. But Dario Scardapane, the showrunner for Born Again, was involved as a writer and producer for my second favorite Marvel TV show, The Punisher. But I'm not here to talk about what is and what will be the best year for Daredevil right now. I want to talk about what could have been if Disney and Netflix played nice and we actually got a season 4 of Daredevil. Here are the scrapped ideas for what could have been Daredevil season 4. On November 16th, 2018, Eric Olson, showrunner and executive producer of season 3, tweeted about sending his pitch for season 4. For context, season 3 released in October of that year, and many of the other Netflix Marvel TV shows, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, had already been canceled. Sadly, 2 weeks after Olsen's tweet, Daredevil was officially axed. While we will likely never see Olsen's full pitch, some of his ideas for season 4 have been documented, thanks to Save Daredevil's YouTube channel. This was a fan campaign to save the series and also served as a platform for fans to discuss the show's legacy, featuring several interviews with cast, writers, and production staff. One of these videos has Olsen discussing his season 4 ideas with Daredevil season 1 showrunner Stephen S. DeKnight. Let's break down each of these ideas from their discussion. Spoilers for all of Daredevil and some of Iron Fist season 2. Leland Owsley, played by Bob Gunton, appeared in season 1 as the financier of Kingpin's criminal enterprise. After a failed assassination attempt on Vanessa, Owsley was killed by Fisk. What I didn't know until doing research for this video is that Owsley was actually Shocker the Owl, a supervillain from the comic books who was a financial genius given a flight serum that allowed him to glide and fly like a bird. That probably would have been useful for him in the show. Olsen and DeKnight actually wanted to bring back the Owl by having Leland's son return in season 4 to seek revenge on Kingpin.
Luego no recuerdo qué pasó. Nos sacaste de ese infierno.
Typhoid Mary was introduced in season 2 of Iron Fist, played by Alice Eve. Having never watched season 2 of Iron Fist, I did a full season summary wiki read of just her character. This is where I learned that she was a hired mercenary for the antagonist of that season, Davos, but later betrayed him, didn't take any of the Meacham's money, and pieced out to Arizona. Oh, and her thing is she has DID, which makes her feel like a more mature version of Disney Plus's Moon Knight, because trust me, her trauma that she deals with is pretty rough and explicit. Her persona Walker is the hardened military identity and Mary is the calm artist identity. However, by the end of the season, she learns she may have a third identity, which likely got her out of that Sokovian prison she was trapped in. We don't learn too much about this persona in Iron Fist, but Olsen said he was in talks with Alice Eve about the character and wanted to do something different with her in this planned season.
Well, I was going to bring it back to season 5.
He discussed
Loeb and I figured out, and season 4 was going to be Typhoid Mary.
Fantastic choice.
Alice Eve. We were doing a.
You were planning You're planning on Alice Eve to play Typhoid Mary?
Yes, I had a different version. I had a much different version of her than what Raven had done in Iron Fist. But like, I was kind of rebooting what she was going to be like, and we were going to do a, kind of a warped love story, murder mystery, kind of femme fatale, but kind of a modern day feminist version of it, as opposed to kind of the older sexist kind of femme fatale archetype. But we'd broken more or less the entire season when we got canceled.
Mary, considering that in the comics, Daredevil and Mary do come to blows, and she eventually becomes Kingpin's second wife, her character introduction in season 4 would have been wild. Bullseye was one of the major antagonists in Daredevil Season 3. By the end of that season, we get his comic book origins after Fisk introduces his spine to a brick wall. After agreeing to experimental surgery on his back, we get literal bullseye in his eyes, teasing his return. Despite the tease, Olsen commented that during his pitch, Bullseye wasn't in his plans for Season 4. However, he wanted to bring him back in a theoretical Season 5. Considering the epic ideas he had for Season 4, seeing the Master Marksman return would have been awesome. Melvin Potter, introduced in Season 1 as Kingpin's armored suit tailor, eventually helps Daredevil by creating his first costume. But after Kingpin busts out of prison in Season 3, Potter is forced to help the big man create an identical suit for Bullseye, framing the real Daredevil. Their eventual confrontation as friends turned enemies leads to Potter being arrested by the FBI. The Knight actually commented on how Potter was being set up to eventually become Gladiator, and Olsen confirmed this plan as well, explaining how he had to talk to James Cameron multiple times to bring Matt Gerald, who plays Potter, back for Season 3 during filming for Avatar 2. Gladiator is actually Potter's supervillain alter ego in the comics. Gladiator works with Kingpin, fights Daredevil, commits questionable crimes in Chinatown, and attempts to delete himself after realizing all of his wrongdoings, only to be saved by Daredevil. I'm wondering what kind of plans they had for this guy. Okay, this is the fun part. Now that I've summarized most of the ideas for Season 4, I'll try to piece them together into a cohesive story based on what could have been Season 4 in Olsen and Knight's vision. So if we start from where Season 3 left off, Kingpin is in prison, and Vanessa inherits all his wealth and his criminal empire. With Kingpin behind bars, he would likely try to operate more covertly, which could be how Typhoid Mary gets roped into the plot that Daredevil would likely intervene in. But of course, those loose plot threads from Season 1 and Season 3 come back to bite them in the butts, with Gladiator and the Owl entering into the mix. In true Daredevil fashion, I'm sure the conflicts would have ended in either death or jail for most of these guys. And we could have even seen a budding relationship between Mary and Kingpin, with Vanessa becoming a more unhinged crime boss. And I'm sure we would get plenty of teases for Bullseye. So yeah, just thinking about what could have been with a Season 4 of Daredevil, with the characters that we've been following for years in that Netflix series, it's unfortunate that none of it will ever come to fruition at this point, but I wanted to leave on a positive note from Olsen and
heartbreaking,
Knight.
But it'll come back in some form at some point. These Marvel characters always have a kind of an endless cycle of rebirth, and I can't wait to see what the next crop of filmmakers does with it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not going to mention whatever happens in Daredevil Born Again currently, but I'm sure maybe some of these ideas were picked away and reinterpreted in the show in some shape or form, which kind of makes me happy. But that concludes everything. What would you have wanted from a season 4? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Super Media Runners.
Super Media Runners!